11. Therefore, I can give my response. Mr. Speaker, ordinarily, I had thought that the reason why we are here to debate this bill this afternoon is to hear from the committee set up by the Speaker to determine a very narrow question. I repeat, sir, a very narrow question, whether or not this particular association exists elsewhere in the world. And I remember, Mr. Speaker, when this committee was being constituted, the question that was put to them and the answer Mr. Speaker gave was that if they return on Tuesday, and the answer is in the affirmative, therefore, we would not have no hesitation in going further with the passage of this bill, particularly the debate. So I never thought that, Mr. Speaker, this would create a litigation or re-argument. But because some other people have spoken, that's why I feel there should be a right of reply. And thank you for giving it to me, Mr. Speaker. Let me say this. We have two chambers, House of Parliament in Nigeria. We have the Senate, we have the House of Reps. And there is full faith and recognition to be given to the decision of either of these House. The Speaker, if the Senate passes a bill and they send it to us for concurrence, or we pass a bill, we send it to the Senate for concurrence, we'll expect that under the full faith and recognition rule, we shall give recognition and give effect to that bill. Mr. Speaker, something was said last week by the Deputy Whip, and it was like casting aspersion on the Senate when he said the Senate did not do a thorough job, and it is the duty and responsibility of the House to do a better job. That is not good. That is an indictment of the Senate. And I say this because the Senate held a public hearing, Mr. Speaker. During that public hearing, all these things we are talking about today, they were succinctly discussed and debated at the public hearing. Yes. Anna was there. ICANN was there. Lawyers were there. And all the stakeholders were there.
My friend, but
it was the consensus. It was the consensus of the committee after the public hearing that this bill should be passed by the Senate. The report was submitted to the Senate. The Senate considered the report, went to the public, into the committee of the whole House, and as well as passing the third reading before it was sent to us for concurrence. And as I said before, Mr. Speaker, before the concurrence, of course, we have another one lying here by me and my other two colleagues. Mr. Speaker, I think we should give full faith and recognition to Senate's position on this bill. Beyond that, Mr. Speaker, I think I need to correct an impression that was given by Honorable Sunday when he was talking about charter. In Nigeria, we don't charter any longer. That is what they call colonial mentality, excuse my language. Because what we have here is to give legal backing. It is during the colonial era, and because of the monarchical system that exists in England and Wales, that you go to England to ask for royal charter. You can call yourself any name. What matters is, do you have legislative recognition? ICANN was not chartered in Nigeria. ICANN has legal backing because the law, the duties of the National Assembly, pursuant to Section 4 of the Constitution, is to make law, not to charter. So when we give legal recognition, we are not chartering anybody. You can call yourself any name. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, it is distinguishable from what we are doing here now, Mr. Speaker. What we are saying is that for any association to conduct business in Nigeria, particularly professional business, they have to have legal backing. And you asked, Mr. Speaker, a very germane question. And what is that question? You said, is there an association in Nigeria that exists without legal backing? The question is none. we are doing our business as lawmakers. We have to ensure that what we do here, we have legislative backing and control for any association. Why are we here? We have the report. The report is an affirmative. Affirmative that yes, we have similar organizations. Nigeria is a sovereign country. If Ghana does not give legal backing to their own, that's Ghana's problem. You cannot say because Ghana does not give legal backing, Nigeria should not give legal backing. We have different challenges, we have different institutions, and we have different reasons why we take policies, Mr. Speaker. For us in Nigeria, ICANN was given legal backing, ANAN was given legal backing, Institute of Taxation, so many of them were given legal backing. Why should we not give this association legal backing as well? The use of the word auditor, I think I said last week that some people grow goosebumps because of the word auditor. Mr. Speaker, this is different from auditing that they are looking at. You can audit anything, not necessarily an accountant. They feel that once you hear it's an auditor, it's an accountant. No. Auditors, you can audit so many things beyond accounting. So when they say investigative auditing, I can say it boldly, Mr. Speaker, that hardly can you see audit accountants in Nigeria testify in court. It's only investigative auditors as well as forensic investigators that go to the court to testify. And we're talking about science and technology, the use of science and technology in the war against corruption. Without much ado, Mr. Speaker, and of course, I still retain my right to reply. I want to urge my colleagues to please support this bill. If we get to the committee of the whole House, and I say committee of the whole House, as I said last week, Mr. Speaker, we have less than 2 months to go. And if we want to go by the suggestion espoused by the Deputy Speaker, that we have a committee or a new bill be brought up, Mr. Speaker, it's like saying that we are taking this bill to the graveyard. We have a duty to pass this law. And I want to urge my colleagues, Mr. Speaker, to please support this bill. If we get to the committee of the whole House, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after tomorrow, we can correct the areas that need to be corrected. I so submit, Mr. Speaker.